You just witnessed the crime. You've got about 3 seconds to make a decision. Should you enforce a citizen's arrest? It's an option. Or should you just let the person go? What are the ramifications of a citizen's arrest? Can you be arrested yourself? Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can be arrested for manslaughter. Let's talk about it. I find this subject interesting. Welcome to weaponseducation.com. I just came back from dinner tonight with our best friends. It's a couple, and the wife is a 17-year veteran law enforcement officer. She's a deputy sheriff here in South Florida. And I asked her, I said, so what's the deal on a citizen's arrest? I find this subject interesting. She says, oh yeah, I've had a lot of them over the years where the good guy, the good Samaritan, did a perfect scenario job and did a citizen's arrest in a fashion we'll speak about here in a moment. And she goes, I've also seen people get arrested for manslaughter. I go, well, how could that happen? She says, well, there was one situation where there was a purse snatching, and the good guy, us, runs after the purse snatcher a couple blocks in city streets, and he runs into an intersection and gets killed. Now you're up for manslaughter, whether you like it or not. The law is not always fair. So be careful what you do when you see a crime. Let's talk about a citizen's arrest, okay? In each state throughout the United States, the laws differ. So know your state laws. That's huge. In Florida, we can enforce a citizen's arrest if it's done properly. And even throughout the world, in different countries, you've got the option to enforce a citizen's arrest. Check your laws. Now, first of all, you've got to obviously be a witness of a crime. You have to see it as it's taking place, as it's happening, and you have to do what's called provide probable cause. A reasonable belief in your mind that that person has committed a crime. Now, if you see a crime taking place at a mall where you see someone stealing something off a shelf and put it in the purse or in their jacket, I mean, I'm not going to get involved with that. That's what surveillance is for. And you can go to the store manager and say, hey, you better call the police. That person over there just stole something. You just don't want the headaches or stress to be some macho person and go, oh, I'm going to do a citizen's arrest. I saw you steal that stuff. Don't even go there on small stuff. You have to really assess the situation. Is it a serious crime? If it's a serious crime, now you got 3 seconds to think about this. Now what do? I just witnessed a serious crime, such as a purse snatching, okay? No one's injured. You're on the street, you see a purse snatching taking place, and now the bad guy is running at you. You've got a nanosecond to make a decision. What do? You want to be a hero and try to stop that guy and tackle him down? How much force is too much force for a citizen's arrest? That's a gray area. Because if you take that guy down, I'm a big guy, and if I did that and I broke the guy's hip or something, I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble. I'm going to have civil lawsuits against me because they're going to say the force I used doesn't justify the crime that took place. Where on the other hand, if the same scenario, the guy took a baseball bat, smashed someone's skull in, and almost killed someone in front of me, then took her purse and is running at me, and he's got the bat. Now that's a different scenario. Now, I mean, I'm not going to pull my gun. I'm not going to pull my Desert Eagle or whatever gun I'm carrying. Just happen to have that hanging around. By the way, I'm going to do a lot of cool gun reviews coming up. But now that person's running at me. What do I do now? He just almost killed someone. You don't have time for police, obviously. In that situation, your life could be potentially in danger, and every situation is different. I would try to stop that person, but what happens if that whack job is on bath salts? And what if he's really whacked out? What if he's drunk and he's on heroin? He feels no pain. His adrenaline's going so much. He might overtake you, or me, or anyone, because they get superpowers when they just committed a crime like that, and they're on these weird drugs they got today, like bath salts. So you got to think about that. You know, you got a person, maybe you should just go tender aid to that person who's dying. That's probably the best case scenario. I'm going to tell you, you don't want to get in civil situations civil lawsuit situations if you see a crime that just took place. You really want to let police do their job. You can be arrested for impersonating a police officer. I mean, let's face it, you do not have the benefits if you are a cop and you are in that same situation, uniformed cop. Of course, you've got a radio, you can call for backup. You've got no backup. If you're a cop, you can call for handcuffs. I mean, you got your handcuffs, you can handcuff that person, you can use a nightstick. The police have a little bit more of an edge than we do as civilians. So don't think you're a cop because you can be arrested for impersonating a cop and for being using too much force. But it is legal for you to enforce a citizen's arrest if everything is reasonable. Now, like you see a bike getting stolen, I'm not going to go do a citizen's arrest. You know, call the police and say the bike got stolen. You're much better off being a better witness than enforcing a citizen's arrest. What you want to think about is you have to explain exactly what crime took place in detail. So you want to be a good witness, like I said. It has to have what's called probable cause, and you have to have a reasonable belief. To apprehend that person is not going to be easy, no matter what the scenario is. The person just committed a crime. His adrenaline's going to be going, him or her. And how much force to use, there is no set rule, and each state differs. But generally speaking, this is not legal advice, of course. This is just telling you what I would do. I would pretty much try to not enforce a citizen's arrest myself. I would stay away from it. I would just let law enforcement do their job, unless it was such a clear-cut, simple, straightforward situation. Maybe it's a 14, 15-year-old, and you've seen him commit a crime, slightly violent. Yeah, I'm going to go do my citizen's arrest. If I feel like my life is not going to be in danger, the situation is going to be calm, no one else is going to be harmed, then you can move forward, do your citizen's arrest. And in that scenario, hopefully the person will stay apprehended. You can't tie him up, you can't handcuff him. That's going to be looked at as like excessive force, depending on the situation. Unless if he just raped someone or he just shot someone, now of course, yeah, you got to move in and you can use lethal force if someone's in the act of being raped or someone just got murdered right in front of you. That's a different scenario. So there's so many different levels of what you can do. But I just wanted to give you something to think about. I would definitely tell you to be confident in that situation. Know your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on. Make sure you get all your training. All training comes into place a lot in these circumstances. But you want to call the authorities and be a good witness. That's really how I want to end it. That's the best case scenario, is to call the authorities and be a good witness. But what do you think on a citizen's arrest? I think it's an interesting subject. Throw your comments in, and don't forget we have weaponseducation.net, the gun forum. I'll put the link below. Everyone's chatting away on their phones and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And also, I'm going to start a string of videos on my gun collection. I'm just going to go through one of them at a time. So over the next 6 months, you'll see the whole collection. Enjoy, and be safe, and thank you. Please subscribe. Bye-bye.